Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying back in time to ancient China to unravel the story of one of history's most powerful and controversial figures, Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. His reign was short, just 15 years, but his impact was so monumental that it shaped the course of Chinese history for over 2 millennia. Was he a visionary unifier or a ruthless tyrant? Let's find out together. Our story begins in 259 BC, during the tumultuous Warring States period. For centuries, China was not a single nation, but a patchwork of 7 rival kingdoms constantly at war. Into this chaotic world, a prince named King Zheng was born in the state of Qin. From a young age, he was ambitious and shrewd, witnessing firsthand the brutal realities of conflict. When he ascended the throne of Qin at the tender age of 13, few could have predicted that this young king would be the one to end the chaos and forge a new empire. Guided by his brilliant and ruthless chancellor, Li Si, King Zheng launched a series of swift and merciless military campaigns. One by one, the other 6 states Han, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, and Qi fell before the might of the Qin army. His military strategy was relentless, combining battlefield prowess with espionage and diplomacy. By 221 BC, the final rival state had surrendered. The Warring States period was over. King Zheng had conquered all under heaven. But conquering was only half the battle. Now, he had to rule it. To mark this new era, King Zheng rejected the title of king as insufficient. He created a new title for himself, Shi Huangdi, which translates to first emperor. He was no longer just a king among kings. He was the divine ruler of a unified empire, the first of what he hoped would be 10,000 generations of emperors. This was more than just a name change. It was a profound statement of his ambition to create a dynasty that would last forever. With his new title, Qin Shi Huang set about dismantling the old feudal system that had led to centuries of division. He abolished the hereditary noble classes and divided the empire into 36 commanderies, each governed by officials he appointed directly. This radical reform ensured that power was centralized in his hands, preventing regional lords from challenging his authority. It was a groundbreaking system of meritocracy and central control that would become the blueprint for imperial Chinese administration for centuries to come. The emperor's unification efforts went far beyond political restructuring. To truly bind his vast and diverse empire together, he implemented a sweeping series of standardizations. Imagine trying to run a country where every province uses a different currency, a different system of weights and measures, and even a different written language. It would be chaos. Qin Shi Huang recognized this. He standardized the currency, creating a single, round copper coin with a square hole in the middle. He standardized weights and measures, ensuring that a pound of grain in the north was the same as a pound in the south. Perhaps most significantly, he standardized the written script. While spoken dialects remained diverse, all educated people across the empire now used the same set of characters. This was a stroke of genius, creating a unified cultural and intellectual foundation that allowed for efficient communication and administration across vast distances. This standardized script is the direct ancestor of the written Chinese used today, a testament to the enduring legacy of his reforms. Qin Shi Huang was also a builder on an almost unimaginable scale. To facilitate trade, communication, and the rapid movement of his armies, he commissioned a massive network of roads stretching over for 1,000 miles, connecting his capital, Xianying, to the farthest reaches of the empire. But his most famous and ambitious construction project was, of course, the Great Wall. Now, it's important to clarify that he didn't build the Great Wall as we know it today. Instead, He connected and fortified existing walls built by previous states to form a formidable defensive barrier against nomadic tribes from the north, particularly the Xiongnu. Millions of laborers, including soldiers, convicts, and ordinary citizens, were conscripted for this monumental task. The human cost was immense, with countless lives lost to exhaustion, accidents, and harsh conditions, earning the wall its tragic nickname, the longest cemetery on earth. While these achievements were monumental, they cast a very long and dark shadow. The first emperor's methods were brutal and his rule absolute. He tolerated no dissent. His legalist philosophy dictated that people were inherently self-serving and could only be controlled through strict laws and harsh punishments. This ideology led to one of the most infamous events of his reign, the burning of the books and burying of the scholars. In 13 BC, to eliminate any intellectual opposition and erase the memory of the old, fragmented states, Qin Shi Huang ordered the mass burning of historical records and philosophical texts from other schools of thought, especially Confucianism. Only books on medicine, agriculture, and divination were spared. According to the historian Sima Jun, the following year, the emperor had some 460 scholars executed, allegedly for defying his decree. This act of cultural destruction aimed to wipe the slate clean and ensure that history began with him, but it cemented his reputation as a ruthless tyrant for generations. As he aged, the emperor who had conquered the world became obsessed with conquering his own mortality. He grew terrified of death and dedicated vast resources to the quest for an elixir of life. He dispatched expeditions in search of legendary immortals and consumed various concoctions prepared by his alchemists, many of which ironically contained mercury and likely hastened his demise. His fear of death also drove him to construct his final, and perhaps greatest, masterpiece, his mausoleum. For decades, over 700,000 workers toiled to build a subterranean city to house him in the afterlife. This underground palace was designed to be a perfect replica of his empire, complete with palaces, rivers of mercury, and a ceiling studded with pearls to represent the cosmos. And guarding this silent emperor for eternity was an army unlike any other, the Terracotta Army. Thousands upon thousands of life-sized clay soldiers, archers, and cavalrymen, each with a unique face, were ranged in battle formation, ready to protect their emperor in the next world. Discovered by chance by farmers in 1974, this breathtaking archaeological find offers a stunning glimpse into the power, artistry, and incredible ambition of Qin Shi Huang's reign. The main tomb itself remains unexcavated, leaving its rumored treasures and secrets buried for now. Into 10 BC, at the age of 49, the first emperor died. The man who sought immortality was gone. His death was initially kept secret by his most trusted advisors, including Li Si and the chief eunuch Zhao Gao, who feared a massive uprising if the news broke while they were far from the capital. They forged a fake imperial decree, forcing the emperor's competent eldest son and heir, Fushu, to take his own life, and instead installed a younger, more pliable son on the throne. But the Qin dynasty, built on fear and brutal force, was too fragile to survive its founder. The new emperor was weak, and the empire quickly descended into chaos. Widespread rebellions erupted, fueled by years of resentment against the Qin's harsh rule. Just 4 years after Qin Shi Huang's death, his dynasty collapsed, consumed by the very flames of rebellion he had worked so hard to extinguish. So, how do we remember Qin Shi Huang? Was he a visionary leader who unified a nation, standardized its culture, and laid the foundations for 2 millennia of imperial rule? Or was he a paranoid megalomaniac, a tyrant who enslaved his people, burned books, and murdered scholars? The truth, as it so often is, lies somewhere in the complex grey area between these two extremes. He was both. His legacy is a powerful paradox. He was a unifier and a destroyer, a builder and a tyrant. The China we know today would be unimaginable without him, yet his methods were undeniably cruel. He created an empire but destroyed his own dynasty. His story serves as a timeless and compelling lesson on the nature of power, ambition, and the incredible price of unity. What do you think? Was Qin Shi Huang more of a hero or a villain? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey into the past. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next historical deep dive. Until next time, stay curious.